So what's missing in your life? What are you looking for? Happiness? Love? Money?
Enjoy every moment.
What's missing? Now, if you want to answer that question, right, where are you going? Where are you going in your mind when the question is asked? Well, you're going to some kind of you're going to some kind of thought pattern, I would say. I'm going to some kind of thought pattern. Something you've been desiring, something that hasn't been quite right for you. And there's a feeling that accompanies the thought pattern. Some feeling of dis-ease or lack of satisfaction. Some kind of problem you don't want to live with. Right? Something like that. Where you're not going is to right this moment. Because if you were going with your attention to right this moment, you would find out that there is you would find out that there is nothing missing. I mean, it would be hard to find, we're very comfortable right now. You may have some pain, but in the big scheme of things, it's not a big problem. I'm not strict at all. If your legs are hurting, you could, I'm not like some strict Zen master. Don't move. You can move. You can leave. There's a new book of Zenki Roshi's talks. Zenki Roshi, who brought this particular lineage teaching to the United States from Japan, and I've started to read it a little bit. The title of the book is Becoming Yourself. But in it, he says, it says, you cannot pick up a stone. When the stone is really a stone, you cannot pick it up. That's weird. And the reason you cannot pick up the stone is because the stone is the whole universe. You cannot pick up the whole universe. It's too much. We have these teachings, Buddhist teachings, that most of you, maybe all of you, have heard so many times. It's like they've become cliche. Like, I don't know if you feel that way. I can't read Buddhist books anymore. It's like, again, interdependence, impermanence, the here and now. Everything is interdependent. Nothing exists separately. Everything is always influencing everything else. So the stone does not exist separately from everything else. But we perceive it as existing separately from everything else, and therefore we can pick it up. We can pick it up. That separate stone we pick up and we move it around. But when we actually see the stone as being interrelated with everything else, we're not picking up the stone. Because we can't pick up the whole universe. And from that point of view, nothing is moving, nothing is changing, whether you pick it up or not. It's just one big interrelated process that cannot be picked up and manipulated and put in your pocket. Well, if you think of yourself as the stone, you cannot pick yourself up. You cannot understand yourself. Do you try to understand yourself? You can understand that small self, that small separated stone. No, you can do science on it and so forth. And just that way you can also do some psychological inquiry into your self, your character, your personality, what's wrong with you, what you need to work on. Yeah, but that's all manipulating that small stone. But the purpose of Zazen practice, what we've done today, is to live your big mind, your big self. The self that includes the whole universe, that you cannot pick up or understand or put in your pocket. The stone you can't pick up, or the self that's too big to understand, is what's missing from it. There's something incomplete about the universe that we need to fix. The Zazen instruction that is given to us in this particular lineage is to just to sit. And it sounds simple. When you do it, when you sit down, then a lot happens. You find body sensations and thoughts and so forth, and you get restless, or you wonder why you signed up for this, whatever is going through your mind. And then you might get bothered by certain ways your body-mind is acting in this moment. And how are you bothered? You just have more thoughts about something that just happened. And we have different ways of relating to ourselves. Some people are self-critical, and some people are more critical of others. Why am I not able to sit here peacefully and calmly like everyone else seems to be? That's self-critical. Stupid Zen stuff, like you can get critical of others, the whole tradition, and it's just different ways of dealing with some problem. So it took me a long time, really, to come to this phrase, and now I feel like I'm saying it all the time, and it also sounds like a cliche, and I'll say it again. To allow your experience to be exactly what it is at this time. And so, at this time means now, and the way you bring yourself into here and now is through the body. The body only exists in the present. The mind can go to the past and the future, but the body cannot travel in that way. It's always here and now. And so the body is the perfect gate to the present. So if you ask yourself, what is my experience right now? You need to go to the body. I mean, you don't need to. You can go to the body, and that will immediately bring you into the present, and from there you can also unfold the senses. It's like, what am I hearing right now? What am I seeing? I put I there, which is questionable, but what is this hearing, this seeing that's going on right now? And allowing means to make room for it. There's nothing wrong about anything that we're experiencing. Nothing is wrong about it. It's happening. And there's also nothing right about it. It's happening. You have no reason to be proud. If it's something you like, it's just happening. But you also have no reason to be self-critical, because it's not wrong. It's just happening. If you want to be right or wrong about something, or you want right and wrong to exist, it's an afterthought. It's something that comes later. First, it's not right or wrong. First, it just is. It's just happening. And so, allowing your experience to be exactly what it is at this time is to enter into this before it's right and wrong, before it is good and bad. And you could say that the effect of this practice of allowing your experiencing to be exactly what it is and to become what it becomes, because it's not static. I say experience, and just now I said experiencing, because it's not stable. It's ungraspably fleeting. It's like it's already different now. And already different now. So it's a room that you're making a space that allows for something to be and to become as it becomes. The kind of promise here almost, like that, to locate yourself in this here and now space that accommodates and allows and accommodates, is you're finding a home. Not some place, right? Not the place that where you were born and it's your home country or hometown or home you grew up in. That may exist. That's like a stone. It's like a separate thing. But a home that is always your own experiential space. It's not going anywhere. It's moving all the time. All the time. This moving of this experiential space that is very much ours is time. Time is the way that experiential space moves, because it's not static. It'd be kind of boring, right? Imagine this. It's like, okay, then it's frozen. But it's not. It's not frozen. Which is the source of our suffering. We want things to become otherwise when we don't like what's happening right now, and we don't want things to become otherwise when we do like what's happening right now. And it's not quite right. If you make yourself big, spacious, and I mean this experiential space, I don't mean like, well, I hope you understand. Then things can move in there and become otherwise. It becomes a kind of home wherever you are. This reality of time sometimes I have this feeling like, I just like to die. You know, I don't mean this in a suicidal way, like in terms of like I want to end my life because it's awful or something. I mean, it just is a kind of, it always amuses me. It's like, things have to keep going. It'd be nice to just rest. You know what I mean? It's like everything just keeps going. The phrase I like to use is that the present always carries itself into the present. It doesn't go into the future, it goes into the present. It's like the present doesn't go anywhere once you actually located yourself there, but then it moves. And there's a requirement to participate. Not to participate is to die. stop participating in the present, carrying itself forward into the present. It's like, check out, exit. And I mean this biologically too. If you stop participating, you don't eat, you don't drink or something, you die. So life, aliveness, is this carrying the present into the present. The whole universe is doing it, and we, because we're a stone in it, we are participating. Just the words require me to separate the stone from the universe and participating, a part in the whole. It's all complicated in words. It's like you can't avoid this to speak about separation, the self as separate from the world, or participating in something other than myself. And it's just hard. So life becomes alive and worth living when you can find a way to say yes to your participation. So when I say, maybe it's better to die, that's like not wanting to say yes to the participation. It's like, I want to rest. But to say yes to your participation is to say yes to your life and to yourself and to the universe as a process that brought you forth. It's good. It's really good and wise, I would say, to stop comparing yourself to others. Maybe you would say, that's impossible. Maybe you want to say, that's impossible. I just say, stop. If you can't, stop. You're never going to be like others. Others never going to be like you. The way I think about it is to calm myself down. It's like each person has their own steps to take in this large process that I've been calling the universe. You just have different steps to take, different next steps to take. And nobody is going to take your next step for you, and you're not going to take somebody else's step for them. So we're different. It's great. We all have different problems. And yet, what's very common among us humans, and actually all life forms, is that each life form has to take its next step, has to do its participation. Are you willing? Ready? If you are, then I think in this feeling there's nothing missing. It's just your next doing. When it comes time to die, then that is the next step that needs doing. Until then, let's be alive. The Zen Center's bank account was hacked. And money was taken out. And it's like when I found out about this, it's like, why is this happening? It's the last thing I need right now. I've got other things to do. You know that situation. You've got other things to do than your car breaking down or having an accident and like hitting your toe or something, and then you've got better stuff to do. I've been moaning about bureaucracies. It's like incompetent people who you depend on to solve your problems, and I catch myself. It's like, oh, this is what's happening in this, for this aliveness right now. So it needs this doing. It needs this next step. It needs this repeated call to the bank, to QuickBooks, to the IRS. It's lovely. It doesn't matter what I think. My life, I know, I don't know how I can convey this. I know that where I am in my life with my responsibilities, that it is the right thing to call the IRS right now and deal with this person who doesn't want to talk to me. It's so funny. The IRS really doesn't want to talk to the taxpayers. They want to talk to other professionals, but not like... Anyway, doesn't matter. But I know it's the right thing to do, whether I like it or not. And when I do it, and I, however cumbersome it is, and I complete this next step, it's satisfying. Because the problem that was there presented itself for whatever reason. I don't understand. But whatever problem presented itself, it found a response. And this is good. To not respond to certain problems in our lives as if they shouldn't be there, as if they didn't belong, is like creating a logjam of stuff that we don't really want to deal with, and our life will feel energetically blocked and weighed down by that. We need to do the things that need to be done, whether we like it or not. Then there's more ease. I feel this time and again. It's when for me, it's like when I start to feel stagnant or not at ease, I know that there's something that I'm not doing. Sometimes it's not so easy to know what needs to be done. So you can be grateful for your feeling of stagnation or unease, because it is a sign that you need to pay attention to what needs to be done. How can you be a stone that cannot be picked up? Now, you've heard of Bodhidharma maybe? Bodhidharma is this semi-legendary figure, Indian monk, meditation master, teacher, who came and brought Buddhism to China. And he's celebrated as the founder of Zen, Chan practice in China that became Zen in Japan. Like most founders, they didn't found anything. Buddha didn't found Buddhism and Jesus didn't found Christianity. They were just living their lives and found kind of a depth in their being, and then they started talking and other people started listening. And they didn't found anything. This is it's a problem to look at it that way, to look at founders. But we don't even know if Bodhidharma was a historical figure. He was built up later by Chan and Zen masters because they needed legitimacy. But it's interesting what happens in this process of building up a semi-mythical founder figure. You know, you attribute wise sayings to them. And, you know, all these texts, these religious texts were all composed hundreds of years later. So somebody had a lot of freedom to say, oh, our founder said such and such. So Bodhidharma supposedly said that Zen is a special transmission outside the scriptures. Not relying on words and letters, pointing directly to the mind, realizing true nature and thus becoming Buddha. This is the summary of the gist of what differentiates the Zen school attributed to Bodhidharma. I don't want to philosophize about, you know, transmission, mind, what are these, true nature, what is this? Just when you hear these words, a transmission outside of the scriptures, not relying on words and letters. Pointing directly to the human mind, seeing your true nature and thus becoming Buddha. What's going on here? There's a tension here between studying the concepts of Buddhism, the scriptures, the words, the letters. Let me call it the concepts. The concepts of Buddhism or spirituality or any religion. I don't care, really. Any philosophy. Something that you can express in conceptual frames. That on the one side, and on the other side, direct experience. Immediacy. Immediacy means nothing in between. Experience not mediated by concepts, but direct. Okay? And Zen, so Bodhidharma comes and says, I'm leaving India, I'm leaving the scriptures behind, so to speak, and I'm coming and we're just going to sit and enter a direct experience. Okay, so this is built up as the beginning of the Zen school. What is this Zen school? It's an approach. It's like, how do you go about things? So, what does this mean? Outside the scriptures, outside not relying on words and letters. Should I shut up? Shut my trap. You go sit, I take a nap. You know, the words are not in the way. Yes and no, they are in the way and they're not in the way. Depends on how you relate to them. this so well. You sit zazen, 3 periods, and then you step outside to do a walk. Maybe there's a break. Maybe you have time to sit down in a chair and kind of relax a little bit. And then there's a moment, something like that, okay? But this has been our experience. And then there's a moment in which you feel the breeze on your skin. Or you notice the weight of your body on the chair. And there's a moment of simple completeness. Like that. This is direct experience. It's not mediated by thought. You can't explain the breeze or the sun on your face, and there's no need to. It just is, and it's enjoyable. It's delightful. It's enlivening. It's deeply nourishing. It's like you feel you've arrived somewhere. How can this be? Like something stopped, the commentary, the trying to get somewhere, you stopped seeking something, and then you were able to meet your experience. Your experience could just sort of like penetrate through something. When you have a meeting with someone, right, you talk, whatever, a friend or professionally, what counts in these encounters? Usually we are all wrapped up in what was said, right? What did I say? What did he or she say? What was said? Was it satisfying what was said? Was it wrong what they said? Did I say something wrong? Could I have said this differently? All this speaking is really important. It comes to us as like the main event. It's like this is what's going on, the speaking, the meeting a person. What you were thinking, what I was thinking is so important. Right? And I'm not making fun of it. It's just like, just want to get you into this, what it's like to be in a human situation. And what is not noticed is everything else in the situation. Or it's only half noticed, or sort of peripherally, like the way your body felt. The atmosphere in the room, just the surroundings, the sounds of the situation. It's like we can be so focused on what is said that this whole sensory world disappears. Almost. Until something happens, like a piercing sound, and then you're back into but then you just switch back to the conversation. It was just a distraction. Now, I think we have actually internalized that, like what's going on in our minds, the discursive, what I call discursive thinking, is of a similar quality. You get really involved in that. That's the main event. That is yourself. And so we need a practice. I think we need a practice. We need the practice of zazen to redirect attention. And so, even though the main instruction is just to sit, you find out like, this takes, attention gets all wrapped up in thinking, so I take it and I bring it back to breath, body, and phenomena, and locate myself again in here, in this here and now situation. And then I get wrapped up in what is being said in my mind, and then I come back. And if you do it enough, then what happens? The body feels different. Isn't that true? For me, it's almost like it's a kind of heaviness. It's like I arrive in the body and it is both heavy and light at the same time. I'm sorry for this weird contradiction, but it is, maybe it's heavy, it has weight, I'm on my feet on the earth, it is grounded, and at the same time it feels buoyant and alive and porous, receptive, willing to receive the wind and the sun and the crows. And it's satisfying. Now, when you are involved in conceptual work or discursive activity, you sit in front of a computer, you write an email, so it's difficult to maintain this bodily presence. So we're cursed. Our time is cursed with disembodiment. Because we get, more and more of us get involved with this mental, conceptual, discursive activity all of the time. And then you do that maybe professionally, and then also social media, and now we can ask AI all of our questions. And with more and more information coming in, the mind also doesn't shut up. So what do? And I think it's necessary to find, maybe through, we're here doing Zazen, but you may have other practices, but through your Zazen practice, notice what it's like to become bodyful and embodied, and what that feeling is like, and to maintain it throughout your activities. An embodied presence, an embodied aliveness. It's so banal almost to say this, but did you observe the day today? I mean, once you've arrived here, right? Sitting down, we make some sounds, bells, and somebody coughs or sneezes. A child's voice, wind, your own pain in your body. This is the practice, right? You let the discursive thoughts that you have, you let them just come and go. So a portion of your attention through the activities that we're doing, then we'll go walking. We have a meal in silence that is complicated enough to keep us involved with the objects and the haptic quality of what we're doing. That's by design, right? You can't just eat without attention. Tea. What is all this about? It's about a mutually shared embodied presence. We're just finding ways to use the ordinary activities of our life to create a shared embodied presence. And it is the enactment of our true nature. This is the idea. It's not like you are drinking the tea in order to realize something like your true nature to then apply it later. It's about drinking your tree. That's actually good, to drink the trees. Go ahead and do that too. To drink the tea as a complete activity, nourishing, alive, present. Nothing missing there. To see your life as an unfolding of such activity is wisdom. The participation that is required moment after moment to complete what is happening. There's a lot of complexity we're dealing with. But the way we can practice to locate ourselves here and now and participate is not complicated. There's complexity, but it's not complicated. Thank you for your attention. You might want to forget everything I said. And enter this next